Morning, Gracie.
Morning.
Hey, we get letters about last week's show?
Bill?
Bills? For what?
Hey, Tom, you're right on time.
Hi, Jasper.
You've been practicing?
Yep. Want to hear it?
No, you better save it for the show.
Jasper?
Yes?
Jasper?
Yeah?
Jasper, what is that?
What?
Well, the noise. What's all that noise?
Oh, that's not noise, Tom. Those are sound effects.
Sound effects?
I suppose you want some coffee.
Do we have to pay for it?
What do you think?
Tom, you got $2?
I paid for coffee last week. Oh, yeah. Okay, all right.
Thanks. Here, Tom. Press that button right there.
This one?
No, the other one. What do you think?
Well, they're the same.
You're not listening, Tom. One is from a Bugs Bunny cartoon.
And the other is from a Hollywood movie.
Jasper.
Yes?
Jasper.
Yeah?
Jasper, why do we need sound effects?
All the big-time radio shows have sound effects.
That's right, Tom. The Royal Canadian Air Force, double exposure. Even Morningside uses them.
Morningside?
Sure. You really think that Sheila Rogers does her own laughing?
Well, I don't know.
Shouldn't we get started?
Right you are, Grace. Okay, Tom. You all set?
Yeah, sure.
Then take it away. Press that button right there.
This one?
No, the other one.
That's your cue.
Oh, right. From Blossom, Alberta, it's the Dead Dog Cafe Comedy Hour with your hosts, Jasper Friendly Bear,
Gracie Heavy Hand,
And Thomas, what's his name?
King.
It was a joke.
Oh, hey. Not bad. So, Tom, why don't you tell our listeners who our guests are?
Not again. Jasper, you haven't told me who our guests are going to be.
Thompson Highway, Princess Di, Preston Manning.
And in our second half hour, we'll be talking to Louis Riel.
Jasper, Louis Riel is dead.
Not again.
He's been dead for over 100 years.
Well, you deal with it, Tom.
Me?
But first, it's time for Gracie's Reserve Recipes. Tom, press that button.
This one?
No, the other one. Well, Gracie, what delectable delicacy do you have for our listeners today?
Delectable delicacy?
What's to eat?
Well, today I thought I'll make one of my favorite recipes. Puppy stew.
Oh, boy, that's one of my favorites. It's one of Tom's favorites, too.
Well, I've never actually had puppy stew.
Urban Indians. Here, give me a hand with that box.
Gracie, there's something in the box.
I know that.
Something alive.
Hey, Tom, look at this.
Hey, it's a puppy.
Hand me that big knife.
This one?
Gracie,
Yes?
Gracie,
Yes?
Gracie, you're not going to butcher that puppy, are you?
Something wrong with that?
Well, I think it might be against the law. You know, butcher a puppy on a radio show?
Nobody's going to see.
How's Gracie going to make puppy stew?
Well, she could just, tell our listeners how to make puppy stew.
What about lunch?
Jasper!
You eat hamburger?
Sure, but
Pork?
a little.
How about lamb?
Well,
Any of this sinking in?
Well, while Tom and Gracie are working out Gracie's recipe for puppy stew, it's time for Friendly Bear's Blackout Bingo. Here's how it works. First, you make up your own card. Then each program will call a number. When you get your card blacked out, just write us at Box 555, Edmonton, Alberta, T5J 2P4, and we'll send you a nifty prize. All right. The first number is...
Wait a minute. Make up your own card?
Well, you can make up more than one if you have the time.
No, that's not what I mean.
He's worried about people cheating.
Why would they do that?
Urban Indians.
The prizes aren't that good, Tom.
Look, forget I mentioned it, okay?
Here, why don't you read the first number?
No, it's okay.
Read the number.
Okay. B8.
Okay, Tom. That takes care of bingo. What's next? All right. You guys got the recipe worked out yet?
You won't believe what he did.
The puppy?
No, what's his name?
Tom?
He named the puppy
He didn't.
Cuddles.
Tom, you named lunch Cuddles?
Well, I had a dog named Cuddles when I was a kid.
Well, now you've got another. Here,
Well, I don't want a puppy.
Tough.
Hey, I got a great idea.
This I want to see.
No, really. Look, here's what we'll do. We'll have a contest.
Look, I'll just take Cuddles into the kitchen and wring its little...
No. Look, we'll use Cuddles as a prize in a contest.
I don't know, Tom. I'm getting pretty hungry. What about you, Gracie?
Starving.
Oh, wait. Look, it'll be good publicity for the show.
We don't need publicity, Tom. This is public radio.
You can't butcher a puppy on public radio.
What else do we have for lunch?
Macaroni.
I love macaroni.
Oops. No time for lunch right now. It's time for that portion of our show where we interview famous Indians and ask the question, what else do you do? Who's our guest today, Tom?
Well, Jasper, according to Gracie, our guest today is the famous Thompson Highway.
So, where is he?
I don't know.
Hi, is this Thompson Highway?
I try my very best. Ain't nobody else wants to take the job.
Okay. All right.
So, hey, we've got Thompson Highway on the phone.
The famous playwright.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Oh,
That's
great. All right. Well, we know you're a famous playwright, but what our listeners want to know is, what else do you do?
I play the piano. At every possible opportunity that I have, I play the piano.
Oh, do you have a piano in the house there?
Right here in front of me.
Oh, could you play a few notes for us?
Oh, it's too far away. The telephone cord won't stretch that far.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
Thompson, if you don't mind my asking, what kind of clothes do you wear?
What kind of clothes do I wear? Oh,
Yeah.
very basic. I mean, I'm not as fashion plate. Right now, I'm wearing long johns.
Oh, is it winter time?
Well, I just got out of bed, for God's sake. I sleep late because I was late. So right now I got long johns and a sweatshirt that's about something like 15 years old. And
Sounds cool. I like clothes that are kind of falling apart, too.
yeah, I know. It's my favorite
You know,
kind.
holy knees and a
I know.
hole here and there on
I
your
know.
hand.
Because, when you dress up formally,
Mm-hmm.
and you got a bow tie, for instance,
Yeah.
you can't breathe. Like neckties, I don't know how people can breathe in them.
oh.
Like, to my mind, if politicians didn't have to wear neckties and had open chests, for instance, you know, like tank tops.
Yeah.
And if they could breathe freely, I think that the decisions that they made in Parliament, for instance, and at the legislature in Edmonton would be that much more wise and relaxed and laid back.
That's
that
a
makes
good.
sense.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't breathe in those things, and you can't think properly.
John Critchian in a tank top. Yeah, that.
Oh, yeah,
that-
absolutely.
I can see that.
Ralph Klein in the tank top. Picture it.
I can't see that.
Sounds like you're a very physical person.
Well, I try my very best, yes. Yep.
You know, Gracie is a really good cook, and sometimes on the show she shares a reserve recipe with us. Do you have any favorite foods? Do you cook?
Yeah, I love cooking. My favorite food, my favorite dish. Oh, I have many favorite dishes. I love to eat. But because I come from northern Manitoba, my father was a caribou hunter. I come from a family of caribou hunters, way up in northern Manitoba, right next to the territories.
Ah.
And I was practically like most of my 11 brothers and sisters. We were practically all born in those dog sleds. My father was a hunter. Anyway, my favorite dish is one of my favorite dishes. Oh, yeah, you know what's really neat?
Huh.
I'll skip my favorite dish. I'll go on to my second favorite dish. Caribou. Have you ever had caribou pasta?
Caribou pasta?
Yeah.
No.
It's like a really funky combination between Italian cuisine and Cree cuisine.
Oh, we got to have this recipe.
Oh, it's not really a recipe. Anybody can make it up. But essentially, you just, you boil your regular pot of pasta. You take a nice little shank of caribou, 2 or 3 steak-sized pieces of caribou, and you slice them into very, very thin strips. You fry those lightly in olive oil,
Oh, that sounds
and then you throw the onions in, and then you throw some sliced mushrooms in as well. And that's basically it. Some pepper, some fresh ground pepper sprinkled on top of that, and you just have that on top of pasta.
Oh,
Wow.
And it is just absolutely out of this world.
Wow.
makes me hungry, huh?
Yeah, what do you think of that, Gracie?
That sounds really neat.
Okay, well, thank you. Thanks a
Listen,
lot.
you guys, it was wonderful to talk to you. I think you're just the best, and I love Alberta.
Oh, thanks.
We'll talk again.
Take care.
Take care.
Yeah, all the best.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was great. Hey, you hear that music?
The Lone Ranger?
Wrong answer, Tom. No, it's time once again for Trust Tonto, where our listeners can write in with their questions about Canadian culture and get totally unbiased answers.
You know, we're not exactly unbiased.
You don't really think we could get unbiased answers about Canadian culture from a white guy who runs around in a black mask?
Shooting at people with silver bullets.
And don't forget, Tom, the Lone Ranger is an American.
Whereas Tonto is from 6 nations.
So, while the Lone Ranger has been riding around all these years, making the world safe for democracy and multinational corporations, what do you suppose Tonto has been doing?
You asked me this last time.
Wrong answer, Tom. Here, why don't you read a question from one of our listeners?
Sure, why not? Dear Tonto, listen to your show all the time. Everybody here loves it. Just wanted to know if there was any place in Canada where natives outnumbered whites. Did Gracie write this question?
What about it, Tom?
Well, off the top of my head, I'd have to guess Northwest Territories.
Wrong answer, Tom. What about it, Gracie?
Prisons.
Absolutely right.
Prisons? Jasper, look, I don't think we want to advertise that on public radio.
Want to know why?
I'm not sure I do.
Well, one of the reasons is that natives get tougher sentences for the same crime than whites.
Look, couldn't we just say Northwest Territories and be done with it?
You know, I think I see a pattern developing.
What pattern?
Denial. You know, puppy stew, Indians in prisons.
Gracie's got a point. Next thing you'll be telling us is that Louis Riel is dead.
He is dead.
Oh, Tom.
What?
Your dog peed on the floor.
Oh, well, she's just frightened.
Doesn't look too good to have a dog peeing on public radio.
Oh, okay, I'll clean it up.
In the meantime, it's time for popular questions to ask an Indian. Gracie, what's a popular question to ask an Indian?
Well, one of the questions I get asked all the time is, do I speak my language?
That's right, Gracie. Do you speak your language?
As a matter of fact, I do.
So do I. Hey, Tom.
Almost done.
Gracie and I were wondering if you spoke your language.
You mean my native language?
We know you speak a little English.
Well, to be honest, no.
Boy, that's depressing. Not a great way to close the show.
Are we out of time?
Just about.
Thank God.
Tom, your dog just took a...
It's not my dog.
Holy, look at that. And just a little puppy.
The shovel's out back.
Well, that's the end of our show. Join us next week when our guests will be Aline Chrétien, Alberta's Premier Ralph Klein, and David Suzuki.
Don't forget the bucket.
From the Dead Dog Cafe in Blossom, Alberta, this is Jasper Friendly Bear and
Gracie Heavy Hand.
And Cuddles saying,
so long for now. And don't forget, stay calm.
be brave.
Wait for the signs. You know, we're getting a lot better.
No, we're not.
Next time, I'm cooking moose stew. Let's see what you do with that.
I love moose. What about you, Tom? Tom?